guys, today I'm going to do a tutorial that I've been wanting to do for a while. This is something that I've wanted to do in my home, but I can't because our house is owned by the military and I can't really do anything to it, like change it or whatever, so I figured I would share it with you guys. I'm going to be making some polymer clay cabinet knob pulls. I'm going to do 3 kinds since they're relatively easy, and I would have a different cookie for each cabinet or multiple cookies or something like that. So first I'm going to tell you what you need for all the cookies, and then we're going to go through each one. So first off, you're going to need your knob. This is just one that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. It's got a flat front so that you can glue them on easily, and it's relatively large so that when you stick them on there, they won't break and chip and stuff like that. You can use other kinds, but it's just personal preference, I guess. 2 cookie cutters. I like this fluted heart one since I'm making 2 other round cookies, and then this miniature heart cookie cutter. A Oreo mold. This is just a regular sized Oreo that I froze for a while and then molded with some amazing mold putty. Some gloss interior varnish so that your new cabinet knobs don't get all scuffed and stuff from kids and such. If you don't want cabinet knobs, you can also grab some head pins or eye pins to make them into charms, but I'm not doing that today, so do that at your own preference. Some tan clay rolled out to a number 9 on your sheeter. This is the largest setting on mine. That's about how thick it is. Same with some pink clay or whatever other color clay you want for filling. A relatively medium-sized ball of black clay, a ball of tan clay, and a ball of brown clay. So first I'm going to make my cookie with the cookie cutters. So I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. So, alright. Now, I'm going to do a front and a back to my cookie. So I'm going to do 2 tans and 1 pink. You can just do a front and then the pink, or you can do both. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. So I'm going to cut out 2 tans and then 1 pink, and then set those aside. Then I'm going to take one of my tans and layer my pink one on top of it. Kinda, if you're using a scalloped one, kinda try to line up the scallops as best you can, like I'm doing. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it looks a lot better. And then take your other tan clay and kind of line up this other cookie cutter right in the middle. And cut it out. Now, my clay likes to get stuck in these tiny little cookie cutters, so you just kind of take something and stab it out. Alright. Now, these, I guess in Britain they're called jammy dodgers or whatever, I don't know, but they're like jam-filled cookies, and they're really cute, and they're really good too. But yeah. So if you're going to make this into a charm, I would probably stick the head pin between the pink layer and the back layer. Unless you just want to stick it all the way through. So that's our first cookie, a little strawberry filling, raspberry filling jammy dodger. And then you would just bake it and then take some E6000 or whatever and stick it on there. This knob is a bit too big for this cookie, as you can tell. You can buy just blank bases instead of whole knobs like this, or you could just make the cookie bigger. That one is actually my favorite. So since I'm going to be working with black as well, I'm going to do the black last, as I don't want it to ruin my tan clay. So just move all of your other stuff out of the way for now. Set your Jammy Dodger aside on a baking pan to start baking, or to wait until you're ready to bake. So I grabbed my other ball of tan clay. I don't know. I would kind of do a medium size. You don't want it to be too thick, but just roll it out into a ball. And flatten it out. We're going to be making a chocolate chip cookie. One of my favorite kinds of cookies. So just kind of flatten it out. As you can tell, these cookies aren't really realistic, other than the Oreo one, which is an exact replica of an Oreo. So if you want a more realistic cookie for your knobs, you can certainly do that. I like less realistic looking things because I think it makes them look cuter. If these are for my home, I would probably put little smiley faces on them because that's just how I am. So take your beginning of your chocolate chip cookie, and so it's easier to roll out little chocolate chips. I like to make a snake out of my other clay, out of my brown clay. Holding my paper in place and trying to keep my camera from going out. Alright, now I'm going to make my chocolate chip spots all different sizes. You can make them all uniform, it's up to you. But just kind of take off a little piece, roll it into a ball between your fingers, and kind of flatten it out. And then put it on your tan piece. And then just keep doing that until you feel your chocolate chip cookie has enough chocolate chips. As for me, I love chocolate chip cookies. I have lots of chocolate chips, so I'm going to be doing that. Oops. And then just kind of stick them randomly around. They don't have to be, in any order, because chocolate chip cookies certainly aren't, doing that themselves. Oops, dropped it. And as you can see from doing it at the snake like this, you can't really control the size of your pieces. So your chocolate chip cookie or your chocolate chips are bound to be different sizes no matter what. I'm going to do a few more, and then we'll move on to our last cookie, which is the easiest since it's with the mold. And our last chocolate chip. There we go. There's our chocolate chip cookie. And then again, you're just going to bake it and glue it onto your knob pull or whatever you have. You can also take some pastel after it's baked, or right now, and kind of darken your tan clay a little bit to make it look like a baked cookie. And then lastly, we're going to put away our tan, the rest of our tan and our brown clay. We're going to grab our Oreo mold and our black clay. Now, this is a bit tricky, I guess. It was for me. Molds are kind of tricky. I like to flatten this out into a disc that will fit in here, and then just kind of stick it in there and push it down without letting it stick to my fingers because it will pull out, because you don't need any mold release for these molds. Make sure you get all around all of the edges so that you get all of the detail. And just kind of massage it into the mold and make sure that you get every last bit of detail without letting it stick to your fingers, because if it sticks to your fingers and it pulls out a little bit and you go to stick it back in, you'll have kind of like a ghosty effect on your Oreo. So this one's ready. You just kind of carefully pull it out, and perfect Oreo! Yay! It looks good enough to eat. Oh my goodness. Alright, so there we have our 3 cookie knobs. And then again with the Oreo, you just want to take your base and just stick it on there. You can also do the same thing we did with the Jammy Dodger and take a disc of white and stick it in there, and then do another disc of black. You don't need to press it into the mold if you're going to do a backside, because it's just going to be against the knob. But also be careful with the design, because it can get squished really easily. So I hope you guys had a bit of fun making your own custom cabinet pulls. I wish I could do this to my house, so let me know how it goes for you. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and happy crafting!